And we're underway with this Temple Challenge Cup heat between Triton and Bucknell University. Bucknell on your right, Triton on the left-hand side of your screen. I'm quite excited to see this Triton crew race, actually, Adrian. It is almost a full lineup back again from racing at Henley Royal last year, just with one change in the 3 seats.
Yeah, exactly, and they did very well last year, but they seem to have very much improved because they've done some training against the Dutch World FISU 8, going to the International University Games, and they beat them. So this is going to be this is a crew that's lost last year and seems to have gone away and just worked and really improved the standard. Yeah,
absolutely. They've just got a few centimetres up there, you can see, over on the Berkshire station, and they made it to the semi-finals last year, to the Saturday, and this crew are almost complete from last year, like we've mentioned. So if they've gotten even better, Adrian, they were beaten by a Dutch crew, by Nieuwrauch, in the semi-finals last year. They're now up the might of this American crew from Bucknell. I think this crew could be one to watch.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you lose in a race like that against people who are not far away from you in your own country. Can really fuel the training you do in the next winter, in the winter's training. And you can here we go. We're coming to about 3/4 of the length lead, and a good view here from the stern of the Triton crew, with 39 strokes a minute as they get into the race pace, doing about 19 kilometers an hour. Rowing really nicely here, good length, and in typical Dutch style, they sit nice and still and let the boat do the work.
Really great rhythm here, being set in the stroke seat for the crew from Triton, Peter van Veen, who is, like you say, really getting the blades on and into the water. You can see how upright they are compared to Bucknell, who, you know, not quite as quick on the boat speed there, Adrian.
No, they're 3 strokes a minute higher than Triton. So Triton are 3 strokes a minute lower, and they're rowing away. So just much more efficient and longer with the way they're applying the power.
And it's great to be able to see that comparison, isn't it? And how much the boat is working for Triton. We've got Bucknell on the screen at the moment, and they're just having to work that bit harder for everything.
Yeah, exactly. And here you can see from the side, the Triton crew just looks a bit shorter and a bit more, they're not quite finishing it off, whereas just the confidence in the crew on the right-hand side, you can see here from the Netherlands, really, really just patient, long, composed. Just looks like less hard work, doesn't it, when they row that well?
Yeah, it's and again, we've said the wind has died down a little bit from early on today, but you can still see the ripples on the water, and so every centimetre counts that you've got that blade in the water, right?
I totally agree. And one of the things that's been interesting in the previous 8 races is that the wind is down, but they are really struggling to stay straight. There is something in the crosswind, and here the crew's in pretty good shape right now. You can see they're definitely on the left-hand side of the course, both crews not getting too close to the booms there. But yeah, Triton here doing a really nice job. Just in their rhythm, no wasted movements. Their bodies, they're not doing anything more than they need to do, just simply apply the power with their legs.
And I just love these shots that we get from our drone here, and we'll be getting plenty of those throughout the course of the next, well, we're almost at the end of the first day, but the next 5 days of racing after this. Just a little bit of wobbly blade movement in this Triton crew, though. You know, I don't know whether that's to do with the wind, Adrian, but you can see that the kind of blades aren't quite all in sync going into the water.
There's a few of them that are not quite covering the blades with the other guys, whether that's just nerves and getting settled in, or it's what they do every day in training, and the coach has been talking to them over and over and over, and nothing's changed. But a great view here from the top. Also the sunlight reflecting off the waves. They've got a bit of cover there. You can see the distance when the stroke man puts his blade in the water. You can see the distance between the 2-man's puddle. You can judge how far the boat's traveling between strokes. And if you know what stroke rate you're doing, you've got a really good sense of what boat speed you're doing. And the cocks can read that.
You can just see the ocean of clear water they've developed there between the stern of their boat and Bucknell University, USA. The guys from Louisville, Pennsylvania, now on your screen. Quite a young crew who have come here to Henley Royal Regatta for the experience of racing. Aaron Swope in the bow seat, a walk-on to the sport of rowing in his first year of university, having previously been a gymnast, and so quite a big change for him to be in this kind of side-by-side racing environment.
Yes, and that's one of the great things about the American University program, is that it's so open. These guys can just start a new sport like rowing, and there's a professional setup for them, and they can progress to a point where within a few years of starting rowing as a new sport, they're here all the way across the Atlantic Ocean racing in Henley against a Dutch crew. Fantastic.
Yeah, and you can see that Triton are experienced in racing over this course. They've had not many complications so far as they've progressed through the markers. You can see the 3/4 mile mark there just in the distance, compared to this Bucknell crew who are just struggling with the steering somewhat. Like you said, for those less experienced crews, that can be really tricky, Adrian, and only 3 senior year crew members in this Bucknell crew.
Yeah, it's definitely a young crew. And the Bucknell as a college rows in the American Collegiate Rowing Association, which is one of the divisions within American college rowing. So they have several crews and they race within their own division, and if they're quick enough within that, they can go and race in the IRAs. And here a good picture of them. Obviously these crews, they would have come and had to borrow a boat, whereas Triton would have brought their own boat across from Holland. So that might have taken a bit of time to get settled into.
Yeah, you can just see that the kind of time that they've got on the recovery, and that is the time going up to take the strokes. And as they move forward there, it's just that bit quicker than the guys from Triton. They're just not letting that boat move in underneath them, which is a sign of a really experienced crew. And now you've got them side by side, look. Just look at how much time Triton from the Netherlands on that right-hand side of your picture there are giving that boat to run.
Yeah, they are. And it takes a huge amount of confidence that you can spend that time on the boat. Still, you think the longer you spend time in the water, the lower the stroke rate will be. But it just doesn't work like that, because the more time you have in the water, the more time the handle has to accelerate. It's actually easier to get the stroke rate. But here, very composed Triton. They really are. This is very comfortable for them now.
Yeah, and Hide van der Beek in the 3 seats, the new athlete into this crew from last year's semi-finalist outfit that made it to the Saturday here in this event in the Temple Challenge Cup. You know, he'll be pretty pleased that this has been a start to a successful campaign for Triton once again.
Yeah, indeed, and I think for them they'll have been a little bit nervous, as to, although they know they're quite a fast crew. They won't have known anything about Bucknell, but they basically now clear the cobwebs out. They've got themselves into the regatta. They've won a race. They've got one under their belt, and here they can just relax, enjoy the applause from the crowd on the right-hand side. You can see them across the river. What a great day. Lots of crowds there, very fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely a stylistic performance here from U.S.R. Triton Lager of the Netherlands, who look to start their Temple Challenge Cup campaign with a win against Bucknell University. They'll wait there for the Bucknell crew to cross the line before announcing a clean and fair race here by the umpire. And there it is, the confirmation that U.S.R. Triton Netherlands beat Bucknell University USA in that heat of the Temple Challenge Cup.